Uh, and Travis, how do we start screen sharing if that's a possibility?
Yes, so down at the bottom of your Zoom window, you'll see an icon that says share,
Mm,
okay? You can just
yeah,
click on that and you'll be able to select whichever window you want to share.
sure. I will.
You can try it out if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I have the presentation, so I'm happy to uh, present that so people can start getting acquainted. Um, so oh, and here's Benji. Never mind.
Hello.
I'm gonna give it over to him.
Okay. Well, you'll, am I sharing my screen? Okay.
What?
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We're thrilled to be speaking to you about some online fitness and some the online platform we're building, and thrilled to have your feedback as we progress in these crazy times. I'll share my screen. Here we go. Share. And present. There we go. As Emily may have mentioned, my name is Benji, and Emily's on the line, and we're the co-founders of FlexTogether. And we're an online fitness platform for older adults to keep moving and feel connected. And Emily and I co-founded FlexTogether about a year ago, and we were thrilled to exhibit at the Village conference in Chicago and meet so many great Village members and Village leaders at that conference. And what we'll be presenting to you today is the latest version of our online platform, share some data about findings we've uncovered in our exploration of online fitness, and introduce a fitness challenge that we're thrilled to be launching, and excited to hear your feedback on that. And wanted to thank anybody on the call who shared the information about FlexTogether from the email sent last week to their members. We're always excited to have the villages participating. And for those, anyone on the call who met us in Chicago, we've certainly learned a lot and evolved the product since then. So it may look a little different than what we were showing in Chicago. The inspiration for FlexTogether came from my experience of trying to stay connected with my grandmother, who's in her 90s and lives across the country from me. This challenge existed before COVID-19 upended everything. And I discovered that we could do more on FaceTime and video chat than just chat. I started doing some back exercises with her, and when we found a routine and some regular time when we could meet online and exercise together, that it facilitated that shared activity really kind of facilitated a different sense of connection and invited different kind of storytelling than if we were just joining on a chat and talking about the weather. So Emily and I were, from this experience, were then inspired to think, how can we design a video chat platform that really facilitates this kind of joint activity? And we were thinking about how we could design a video chat platform for seniors of all physical abilities and all technological understandings. And that's really what's driving a lot of what you'll see. Particularly in this time of COVID-19 and social distancing, we are thinking more broadly about what does communal fitness look like in this online age that we have found ourselves in. And excited to share some of those early thinkings as well. So Emily and I, over the last year, experimented, designed, and built FlexTogether. And our FlexTogether product really starts by us recording original fitness content. So we've sourced experts in senior fitness from senior centers and elsewhere. We recorded it ourselves with our team to really ensure that the audio quality enough for older adults, that the lighting would make sure that everything would be visible. And then we discovered that a lot of users were joining from their mobile phones. And so we've mobile optimized the videos to work on those small screens. We have a couple examples of instructors on the screen. We have Carol Hahn, who's an RN and a certified yoga instructor, and Diane Ross, who's a professor emeritus of kinesiology. So we've been excited to uncover some real gems and knowledge bases about senior fitness from senior centers. Right now on the platform, there's chair yoga, there's some cardio. We are working with an instructor to record some Latin dance that should come up shortly, Tai Chi. And then we're also excited to be releasing nature walks and an art walk, which we think could be kind of a cool way to combine education, culture, and fitness all together. So this is a sampling of some of the content that's up there currently and will be being released shortly. So the FlexTogether platform, from a user experience design, we spent a lot of time thinking about how to simplify the process. So rather than an app that requires downloading, we've designed a website that can be accessed from any browser and worked hard to remove any need for passwords and make it accessible no matter what internet connected device you have, whether a phone, tablet, computer. In the future, we're thinking smart TVs, but we're not quite there yet. And the experience really begins with a link. So users simply need to enter their email and their first name is all the minimum required amount of information. And then we generate a unique URL. And once a user clicks on that, that becomes their username, their password, it auto logs them in. It'll remember the next time they visit the website. So there's no need to store usernames and passwords. The home screen, when someone arrives at FlexTogether, invites them to exercise with a friend or family member or to practice on their own. We are going to be launching a COVID-19 fitness challenge, and I'll come back to that at the end. We're pretty excited about that. So when a user wants to connect with another user, we have simplified the process for them to create connections. All they need to do to add a contact is add their the first name and email of the buddy who they want to flex together with. And at that point, once the contact is added, they can click to start now. Their buddy will receive an email or SMS message, depending on what info is entered. And when the two users have clicked their links, they're brought into a video chat. We've also created the ability to schedule classes later. So if you want to schedule in the future, you're welcome to schedule time, and both users will be notified. So once the users click, they're brought into the video chat. There are no additional buttons required to set up that video chat. And the users can then decide together what kind of class they want to take together. We've organized our catalog of classes based on ability. So there are seated classes, mixed seated and standing classes, and standing classes. We'll be adding 2 additional categories, balance training and some floor work for the more active older adults. And after the 2 users get a chance to catch up, select their video, they're brought to, this is how it looks on their computer, on desktop. And we have a short video of users flexing together. Which brought me over here. Let me just make sure that you guys can see what I'm seeing. There we go. So on the right half of the screen, we have our 2 users. And on the left hand, we have Carol Hahn, who is, there's a way to make this go away. Oh, okay, there we go. Carol Hahn, and you can see, so the left half of the screen is pre-recorded fitness content, and the right half of the screen is the live video chat. Chair yoga is a very calming and restful activity. We've also instructed our, during the recording, provided instruction that the instructor should create space for conversation, so that these are not, fitness instructors tend to want to speak and encourage their member, the class throughout the time, and be the cheerleader, but that sort of cheerleading can get in the way of 2 users being able to have a conversation. So we've, that was part of the need to record our own content. And let's come back here. And being mobile first, this is the screen on mobile. You can see again, here's Carol Hahn doing chair yoga, and my face there would be that of the buddy. So we've also tried to minimize the clutter and buttons that a user would see on their screen. We've also provided a way for users to exercise on their own to when their buddies aren't available. And this is also a space that we're working on enhancing and thinking about how we create community for users who aren't on a live video chat but still want to feel connected. And so one way we're thinking is through some leaderboards on the right side, potentially, or even more interesting is the inclusion of our COVID-19 fitness challenge, and being able to see other users, the contributions of other users in terms of their fitness as a great way to stay motivated and moving in these times. There we go. So that concludes sort of the product demo portion of this. I'm going to shift gears a little bit to talking about some of the data and insights, and then I will talk about our COVID-19 challenge and then open up for questions. So this version of the program launched about a month and a half ago. In that time, we've generated 500 registered users, and about half of them have arrived in the last 2 weeks. It's been quite a flood of interest, understandably. Continuing from pre-COVID to post-COVID, about 60–70% of users use their mobile devices to access FlexTogether and complete the exercises. The age range is majority between 60 and 80. There are a small percentage who are 90 plus and a small percentage that 50 to 60. The popular classes tend, so far, overwhelmingly chair yoga, followed by this a balance and cardio class taught by Diane Ross, the professor emeritus, and then followed by a standing cardio class. When we surveyed, most requested class so far has been a dance class, so we're excited to launch that. And then we asked users what exercise they completed before trying FlexTogether. What was their most common go-to exercise? The options were YouTube or Silver Sneakers or a senior center class, and overwhelmingly walking was the alternative that they had been doing before. We've experimented with group fitness classes. We've experimented with fixed class times, and we've experimented with a couple different types of Facebook ads. One of the early lessons for us, and particularly sort of pre-COVID, and the demographics of who is online doing online exercises shifted so radically that we are working to adjust. But pre-COVID, when we had scheduled fixed times for classes, so we said classes would be Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. You can pick whatever class you want to do. You'd be joining into a group of other users. We found that users would not tend to show up at the designated time, but rather would be showing up over 24 hours, would attempt to log in and participate in this class. Granted, this was the universe of users who were excited about using FlexTogether were those who were already homebound. It tended to be more homebound than not before COVID, and so they may have had more competing challenges to finding a designated time to show up. In the Q&A, excited to hear if you guys have been running any online classes or meetups and how that's working. We've sort of thought that we're in an interesting, designed an interesting product that can be very on demand and can work around people's schedules in a way. And excited to keep exploring how we can provide that sort of on-demand experience for folks and still feel connected. I think that's it. So shifting to our last topic, excited to share a new experiment that we're running. We're calling the COVID-19 Fitness Challenge. So the idea being modeled on the charity run, where for every minute of exercise completed on FlexTogether, we'll be making a donation to the Center for Disease Philanthropy. And we chose Center for Disease Philanthropy because they're providing they have a specific COVID-19 fund, and they're providing comprehensive grant making that includes Meals on Wheels, food pantries, as well as for some support for frontline health workers. And we are a bootstrapped company. And so we think it's the right time to donate $1,000 toward this cause. And so we're not requiring that anyone participating in this fitness challenge be providing any of their own money. We are more excited to use this as a proof of concept in a way to see how this motivates older adults, and how we can help them keep moving and feeling that they are helping even when locked in their houses. We're all locked in our houses. So for we'll be donating for every class that someone completes, that'll count towards 50 cents toward the donation, and then we provide additional bonus rewards for if they join as a pair, and then each pair will get a dollar toward their contribution amount. We're gonna run this challenge for 4 weeks and provide an extra bonus if users complete 8 classes. Again, this is still evolving as we're figuring this out. So any insights you may have would be greatly appreciated. And so that wraps up sort of the presentation part. We want to invite you all to, if you're not already signed up, or if you are, we've created a special Village to Village page on the FlexTogether site. It's fairly simple, mostly as a way if you want to join an email list specifically targeted toward Village to Village programs that we will be designing and building, that we'd love for you to sign up there. That's at flextogether.com/b2b.html. Happy for you to share these links with your village members to invite them to sign up, and we'll be keeping everybody abreast as we evolve. I would say the 2 asks that we have going forward would be that we're very happy to customize FlexTogether for your communities and for your members. So if there's interest in creating a closed network where we pre-connect all of your village members, we're happy to do that, so that it removes one extra step for users to be able to connect with each other. We'd be happy to explore an admin screen so that the village organizers can be helping to facilitate connections between various members to get them online. And if there are fitness instructors who your members were really enjoyed, whether the fitness instructor was hired by the village or was at a senior center, we are actively recording new content, figuring out ways to either safely bring the film crew to someone or guide the instructor in filming themselves. So if you have leads on fitness instructors that your members loved, we'd be very happy to have those conversations and get them recorded. So a couple of follow-up questions, but I'm happy to open it up to general questions.
I think, Benji, we have a couple questions in the chat around pricing. So
Sure.
we can definitely address that.
You want to address them?
Sure. I mean, at this point, FlexTogether is free. The donation part is something that we're undertaking as a company. But in terms of you having it go out to your village members, it would be totally free for them to use. And they can use it as much as they want. And Benji, can you share more about how the admin screen would work?
Sure. So this is, I don't have any screenshots to share, but I would be excited to hear also from you sort of what kinds of administrative functionality you might be looking for. I have one vision, which I'll throw out there, but this is more of a product co-development process with you all. So one thought is that we'd be happy to set it up where we could have the administrator be able to join the video chat with 2 other members and show them how to use the product for the first time or first couple times, and then be able to schedule additional video chats between pairs of members. We'd be happy to explore group video chat. We found that sort of group video chat requires moderators, and there's interesting space around, and also if everyone's joining on their phone, there wasn't a whole ton of space. So that sort of drove us toward in the direction of more paired experiences. But if a group video chat you think might work for your community, we're happy to explore and build that out. Did that address that question? Does the folks who are asking that have follow-up on that?
And also we've gotten a couple questions about if FlexTogether is free, how are we donating? Which is a great question. I just wanted to address, so at current, we are supported by nonprofit partners, which allows us to offer FlexTogether to all of your members for free. So this donation is just something we've decided to undertake as a company as part of our initiatives and part of our mission as a social enterprise. I'm looking through the questions now. All right. Yes. So Benji, we're having a question about what kind of tech support we have for first-time users.
So we have a live chat interface that reaches directly to us at the moment, and Emily and I are manning the technical support. In general, we're not finding seems that folks can navigate the site pretty well. We're not getting questions around that too much. There are some challenges with the general amount of internet usage in the internet worldwide has spiked as everyone is accessing the internet more than they used to. So we're making adjustments to be able to support, to make sure our services continue operating smoothly, even as other internet parts seem to slow down.
So in terms of meditation, that's a great question. The chair yoga class is quite relaxing. We don't have a class dedicated to meditation at this point, but we've definitely gotten some excitement around it, and it's on our queue. And in terms of, we're getting a question about how quick are we getting Latin dance and Tai Chi? As soon as we can. I wish I could tell you a specific date, but in these uncertain times, we want to make sure that instructors feel comfortable and that we can get the content to the level of quality that we've been able to put out thus far.
But weeks. I mean, this is this isn't months away. We're weekly making improvements. I would say on meditation, if there was a meditation instructor who was you guys particularly liked, we'd be happy to chat with them. There's go ahead, Emily.
Oh, you go ahead.
Oh, I see a question about cautions, requirements of cautions. The classes that we've posted so far are fairly low impact. The next rounds that we add may be a little more challenging, and we will have appropriate warnings. In the development processes, adding assessments as users are able to sign up and join in to assess their physical ability. And then there's exciting research around mental health, like memory health and physical exercise, and we're exploring with a partner on the memory health side, being able to include that as well.
So currently we have over 500 registrations, so that continues to grow. We've gotten a lot of interest from a couple Facebook ads we've been running, and I think it's just a reflection of the times that people are looking for ways to have fitness in their home.
Great question around, do you register yourselves or can you register as a village? At the moment, everyone is registering on their own. If you would like to register as a village, I think we can have a bit more exploration around that in terms of what additional features that might look like.
Yeah, at this point we have 6 classes available. So we have 2 seated classes, 2 mixed of a seating and standing, and 2 standing classes. And people can view them either, if you want to look at them on your own, that would be through the solo feature. So that's probably the quickest way to be able to see them for yourself.
So question about the mix between individual and paired participation. Bob, is that a question of how are users using it currently? Or a question about how it works? Okay, thanks. So yeah, by and large, users, the majority of users right now are joining because and using it on their own. That said, we've been recruiting the users so far primarily from Facebook. And even before the COVID challenge, those who found us on Facebook were looking, it seemed like they were looking for just an online fitness experience that they could plug into. We're excited to work with the villages and where you already have networks and community, be able to tap in and enhance that and keep those connections going. So yeah. So timeline for classes, we'll be launching additional classes this week, and then we're in the recording process. So in the next 2 weeks, and any additional instructors we have now, I would just sort of expand the pool of instructors. So please do send us instructors who you like, and we'll do our best to include them and get them up quickly.
Yeah, and to Jennifer, we can see how people are viewing our videos. That's how we know that chair yoga seems to be the most popular class at the moment. And we can tell you that people are completing classes, and they're completing classes by themselves. They're also completing classes with pairs. As Benji had mentioned, more are completing classes on their own. So we are seeing, of course, there are some people who drop out before the end, but most of the time people are finishing, and of course, yes, our instructors are paid. They are definitely subject matter experts, and they are the ones who we rely on to actually come up with the routines. Benji and I are not trained fitness instructors in any shape or form, so we rely on their expertise and their experience of working with older adults to guide what those classes will look like.
So Bob, and you had a question about privacy of the video taken of the participants. To clarify, the video chat is never recorded. All we see is that a user joined a video chat. We don't see the contents of that video chat, so that remains completely private. And Sorry about that. Let's go back here.
So in terms of what we use from the contact information from users, at this point, we are just using it to send marketing emails. We want to keep people who have signed up actually completing fitness classes. So about once a week, we will send an update email, usually letting them know about any new classes or any new research we have found that's relevant to them. So they become part of our mailing list. So we then reach out to them just to remind them to get moving and let them know of any other updates and information we have. Yeah, in terms of what they register, so users can give their name, their last name, their first and last name, an email address, and if they would want to be texted to join class, they can give us a cell phone number, but that's completely optional. We do ask for a zip code just so we know where people are and the right time is actually shown when scheduling classes on our end. And we don't share the emails with anyone else. It's just for us to be able to facilitate the use of our product.
Margaret's asking if our long-term plan is to move to a subscription base. Potentially, we might move to a subscription. We would not lock any of anyone who's signing up now. We're not going to surprise you later with a subscription. We would add additional features and potentially add that. We're really more excited to find other payers in essence, whether that's insurance companies or potentially a donation model where we could run fitness challenges and have corporate sponsors. But that's an exploration for next quarter. At the moment, we're really focused on optimizing the product and supporting all the folks who are stuck at home. So maybe I'll take the moment to throw some questions out to everybody and ask you sort of, would your membership be interested in this COVID-19 exercise challenge? Would that be something you think that may motivate your villages?
We have a question from Margaret asking about any advice or lessons learned on how to get village members to connect with each other to start exercising. And we have found that that is true. Sort of that initial schedule seems to be a challenge for some people. But so the best advice we have, I don't know, Benji, if you want to more comment on this, is if there are ways that you can sort of check into what you've normally done. Like if there are ways that at a certain time you used to meet in person, this could be a sort of a new activity. So people understand that that time is coming and that's the time that they've expected to be with other people. So we can sort of slot in temporarily for another activity. Benji, I don't know if you have any other things to add to that.
Yeah, I think it may start with either if you know that there are friendship pairs among your membership, being able to facilitate those two members to use the platform together and to reach out to them specifically and say, hi, here's a fun way for you guys to stay connected. In addition, I think potentially the admins of the villages potentially can be that second pair if there are more socially connected members than others, and it may be helpful for the village leaders to do a FlexTogether fitness class with that socially connected member, and then empower them to reach out to others. Yeah, Bob was thinking that the connection may be enough rather than the challenge, and that's exciting to hear. Yeah. Are there, the other question we want to throw out to you is, are there the needs, what are the major challenges that you are facing in terms of connection, or finding programming, or finding online classes that we can help solve? Are there? Not knowing what a browser is, it can be challenging. I think if they understand what what email is, or what an SMS message is, that can lower that barrier, and they may not need to know what a browser is. We'd be happy to think about phone reminders potentially to help connect users.
So Benji, this is Barbara Sullivan.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, because I'm seeing a lot of chatter about just navigating this, if this would be something that you have like pre-done on a YouTube video.
Sure.
And, do a sample out to villages to see what the possibility is, and show them, how to jump in, and what's, the parameters of hooking onto a computer or whatever. What do you think? Like somebody already mentioned, Jennifer had mentioned, it sounds like, YouTube for exercise classes. And I think, can you evolve this into a YouTube type of a video that maybe eventually they could work their way over to FlexTogether?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can, I think those are two great suggestions. One being a YouTube exercise video that demonstrates some of the exercises available at FlexTogether.
I think that would be very beneficial. Yeah, I think that would be very beneficial, because you've got a lot of questions in regards to, sorry, I took my video off. Just logistics and everything. And I think we're all navigating this just in these challenging times, and dealing with a lot of members that don't have the technical knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So, but everybody can click on a YouTube. I mean, I think that's pretty easy and standard. And so introducing that type of, the concept and your product via YouTube would be a great beneficial way for our villages to grasp what your company does, what your organization does.
We will we'll get on that and be happy to share that video.
Yeah, and to Margaret's question, when somebody registered, they are sent their personal link in an email, so they potentially don't even have to go and find the browser themselves. But yeah, that's a great idea.
So the question is, has Village to Village officially endorsed this program? Our job at the network is to provide avenues and ideas. We don't endorse one product over another. We are trying to show areas in which you can independently, if it works for your village, that's great. We have lots of people, lots of software providers that want us to get their message out. We have 2 or 3 webinars this next week on background checks for, you know, accelerated background checks. We don't endorse one product over another. What we try to do is enhance your membership and the ability to provide services to our members, you know, in our member villages, if that makes sense, Jennifer.
Yeah, and in terms of the question about time zones, I think if it's not the product works just as well if you're in 2 different time zones. I think it does get a little tricky on the coordination realm, but as long as people, you know, in the same way that scheduling a phone call or a meeting, as long as everybody is aware of what time zone it is for them, it shouldn't be difficult to use FlexTogether in different time zones. It'll work just as well.
Well, unless there are more questions or more presentations, I don't see any others. Feel free to email us. We will have this up and running. We look forward to, you know, posting this on our webinar. I know there was a question, have you thought about using Silver Sneakers concepts? And I don't know, Benji, you know, Silver Sneakers just put out a Facebook Live, and that's another alternative thing for you guys to think about. Not everybody has Facebook Live, but that's why I mentioned the YouTube. And again, there are so many mechanisms out there for our villages to embrace and try different ways to engage our members. And I think FlexTogether is a good example. You know, they have really come, you know, fourfold from last year's conference. So, you know, I'm excited for their product to really, you know, get going in the village movement. I do not, I think this question is for us. Have you thought of a collaboration with Zuma Gold? I don't know if that's for you guys or if it's for us, Carol, but it is a great question. It is for me. Thanks, Carol. You know, we have so many moving parts, but I think that what I will do is reach out and see whether or not we can get Zuma Gold to do a presentation or a YouTube video to stream. And I think it's a great idea. The Silver Sneakers, Jane, they did it, you know, without the insurance. So I think that they're going to have ongoing ways to get more products like, you know, Silver Sneakers out through Facebook Live. We're in conversations with AARP about having them stream exercise classes. And so there's a weekly, if you didn't know, there's a weekly call that you can jump on with AARP and the Administration on Community Living. If you just type in AARP and look at their schedule, you do have to register for it. And then I know that each of the states, the state directors within AARP are having individual conference calls or, you know, teleconferences or teletown halls. And I just had one with our governor. It was very enlightening in what they're doing within the states. So all these, you know, are really great suggestions, and Travis is capturing all this so that we can take it back and try to provide as much as we can to our network members. So, and we have, so Will says, is FlexTogether representing attending the conference this year? We're formalizing our launch this fall. Love to chat with you more about organized groups and administrative portal. And you know, G8 Thin Q, you have Benji and Emily's email, I'll make sure that they type it in the chat box so that you have their direct contact information. Oh, it's right there. It's right in front of us. Duh. I would love to see FlexTogether come to the conference again this year and maybe do a presentation, in a technology workshop. So that's up to them. We are navigating all of our presentations as we speak, and actually filling up, which is kind of exciting. So that's up to Emily
Thanks.
and.
Oh, no, we would love to. And we'll make sure to grab a slot before they're all gone.
Send us a proposal, because we've got a lot of technology partners that are looking to do a presentation. So that'd be great.
Will do.
Yep. All right. Thank you, everyone. Any other questions? We thank you, Emily and Benji, for your time, and we look forward to hopefully getting this launched with some of our villages, and hopefully it's been helpful to everyone.
Yeah, and feel free to reach out to Benji or I with any questions, suggestions. We're all trying to navigate these crazy times to the best of our ability and trying to support each other. And we truly do want to help support you. So anything we can do to aid you, please do let us know.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
All right, have a good day, everyone.
You too. Bye-bye now.